Hello, everybody, and welcome to the second episode of the platform where we platform entrepreneurs, creators, and every single thing that helps us make money and be better. Today, I have the one and the only Tato Rampage. They call you what? Malume Mike?
Malume Youtube.
Malume Youtube.
Malume's Mike as well, yeah.
Oh, is it? I have Malume Youtube in the building, and you know what? Look at my outfit, okay? I'm in business.
I can see.
I'm in business, and we're going to have such a fruitful conversation. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
I've been watching your journey for quite some time now, and I had the privilege of actually hearing your story at the YouTube Black Creator event, and I was so inspired. And I really just want to start off with that. It's just a small little brief. How did you start content creating?
Yeah, so with content creation, I wasn't meant to do it. So I was meant to be an engineer. So I was studying engineering, and then throughout that whole journey, I really fell in love with seeing YouTubers create overseas. My sister actually showed me like a YouTube video from these guys from America. Then from there, I just started trying to do what they were doing. They were vlogging. I started vlogging. I saw in South Africa people writing to music, so I was doing that too. So I was doing whatever I could just to be on YouTube, but it made sense. And yeah, I've just been doing it since 2017.
Awesome.
Now it's my full-time job.
Yay, now you're making racks with it.
Yeah.
Oh, which is
For
super
sure.
awesome.
I always say I should be an engineer,
Yeah.
than a YouTuber. So that should sort of full stop.
You said that at the YouTube event, and someone says we're all engineers anyway. You're like engineering the space of YouTube, which is super awesome. Yeah. That's great. So I've seen you transition a lot throughout your channel from the content that you started doing and the content that you're doing now. And I want to know, when did you actually realize that this is the business? Like, when did you realize that, okay,
I think
we're in the cash?
Definitely my first brand deal. I think I was on like 8,000 subscribers, and some brand offered me like 10,000 rand, and I was just there like, because like obviously I was getting an allowance of like 2-3K a month, and then other brands says just come to this event, show face, and shoot one video, we'll give you 10K.
The YouTube video.
A YouTube video, yeah.
Oh wow.
This is like maybe in 2018, 2019. Then I was just there like, that sounds ridiculous.
Wow.
I'm like, imagine if I can get 2 of these a month. That's 16K. No, that's 20K.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, I see.
Awesome.
I need to be thinking about money as well.
Yes, yeah. And then you started investing in the business, because one of the things we've also seen is there's just been like the quality has gotten better and better and better on your channel. Take us through that process. When did you realize that it was time to actually invest in the equipment?
Yeah, so I think I've always watched guys that created a higher quality. So when I started, I was doing what I could with what I had, with the goal and the aim of creating at that quality.
What did you have in the beginning?
I used a phone for 3 years. So I was using an iPhone for 3 years. I'd use my phones. My friends would get the latest iPhone. I'd use their phone. And I just airdrop. So using an iPhone, and then towards the last year of shooting with the phone, I'd borrow a camera here and there. So I'd learn, okay, cool, how does a camera work? Okay, cool, how do we use manual focus? Okay, cool, how do we color correct? And I was learning all those small things with that camera. Then from there, I'd get a brand deal, and I'd always save like, in university, I'd always save like 95% of my deals, because I always had the goal of doing YouTube full time. So like my lifestyle never really changed when I was in university. Even though I was making like, there was a point where I was making like 30K, 40K, 50K a month. I wasn't even like, you would never think that I was making that money, because I'd always obviously be saving it. And then eventually I started creating shows, and I shot the show like on my phone. Then the second season I used my cameras.
What show was that?
This is probably like 2020.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, I'm not
Is
too
that
sure.
Looking from Jolo?
Looking from Jolo, yeah.
You shot that on your phone?
Yeah, so the first season was shot with our phones, yeah.
What?
So we used phones and cameras, because we had 3 angles, so 2 of the angles were phones, and the other angle was a camera.
Wow.
So with that money that we made from the show, I eventually bought myself like an M50, bought myself an A50D, which are like Canons. And then as time would go, I'd obviously invest into like mics, I'd invest into tripod stands, lights, better mics, better lights, better tripod stands. And then now I just shoot with Sony's as well. So Sony's a really cool brand that I like. Yeah.
Is Sony better than Canon?
No, I can't say that. No.
Just in case.
Yes, I think they're both really cool brands.
It just depends what you're trying to use them for.
I always say Sony is really good for low light.
Okay.
And then Canon's really good for your autofocus. So for YouTubers starting off, doing your vlogs or sit downs, I always say the Canon 50 is amazing to start. If you're trying to take it up a notch, Sony A7, any mark is good.
Oh, interesting. Well, there you go, guys. You actually got a rider of the equipment that you can use if you're looking to buy equipment. That is so awesome. So you do Looking from Jolo with your phone, and then you guys do season 2. So season 2 was straight through cameras.
Yeah, so season 2 straight through cameras, like obviously because I made some money in season 1 from AdSense.
Yeah.
Because season 1, like it trended on YouTube, it trended on Twitter. So obviously when something trends, the AdSense is a little bit more than what it usually is.
Of course.
So with that money, I was able to hire like a director, hire a producer, hire editors, color grade for the first time, like
That
getting
is
someone to do it.
insane.
Yeah, so that was
So the
cool.
CPM was in your favor.
I was in my favor for real. It was doing what I had
That's
to do.
awesome.
And then the second season, I didn't have a sponsor, but then I had budget to obviously hire like a team.
Yes.
And that's when I started seeing like, okay, cool, how do you manage a team? How do you manage a director? How do you manage a producer?
Yeah.
How do you take care of your team? How do you take care of your cast members? How do you navigate those two different entities together? Because now it's like people's timings, it's calendars, it's scheduling, it's paying people, it's showing people the dream, it's explaining to your director and your producer how you want this thing to happen, your values and how you want the team to be treated. So obviously I got to learn that from season 2. And then season 2 again also trended, which is cool.
Yes.
So each episode trended. CPM also came into our favor. But this time we were like,
Nice.
no man, we're tired of just the AdSense money. We want to actually speak to brands.
Yes.
So started pitching out, pitched
So
to
you
like,
actually sent pitch to brands?
yeah, I sent like
wow.
I think I probably sent like 25 pitch documents.
Oh,
and like these are like pitch documents that are tailored towards this specific brand.
That's a lot of work.
Yeah, so when we pitch, obviously say, okay, cool. Let's say Mr. D Food, they believe in moments, they believe in community. So we would tailor our pitch documents to show that brand's values.
Of course.
Yeah, and then eventually a couple of them bid, and then Mr. D Food bid, and then they give us a good amount of money.
That's
which
awesome.
is dope. And then for season 3 at a crazy quality.
Oh, nice, because now you could obviously afford better cameras and bigger team.
Better Airbnb space, better everything. We could also plan this experience now from season 1 and season 2.
Yes.
Yeah.
I like that because it's a huge testament of just starting where you are, using what you have to start where you are, and then secondly, reinvesting into the business. I think that's very important because we sometimes do look at content creating as just this thing that people do.
Yeah.
But now we need to open up to the fact that this is a real business and there's cash where people actually make money from this thing. So I really, really love that. And then you recently did a show that trends every single time. And I think to myself, one thing about Tato, he'll trend. He will, he will trend, okay? Is that intentional?
Of course, like definitely I wouldn't say anything that we've done is by mistake.
Yeah.
With the speed dating show, like we made sure that trends on Twitter by redirecting people to Twitter. So like we would always premiere the show.
Yeah.
Before the premiere, I'm tweeting about it. I'm creating a hashtag. I'm getting my friends to use the hashtag. Getting cast members to use the hashtag. I'm like promoting using the hashtag to continue the conversation.
Yeah.
At the end of the premiere now, it literally says, let's redirect, let's continue the conversation on Twitter. Here's the hashtag.
Okay.
So obviously, we do all these things intentionally so we can continue the conversation.
Yes.
Because I know on Twitter, if someone sees something trending, if there's that one piece of content that's funny, everyone's gonna be like, where is this? What's happening?
That's gonna create a buzz.
Yeah. And people like speaking about something first. So like we also think about like human like nature, like characteristics, like you want to post a banging tweet. So now why not post this tweet about the show which you know you think is funny, so you might get a couple retweets. So we think about how people might think when they share this stuff.
I love that, and I think that's one thing I'm really learning about you is the strategy part of what you do. You know, how you're very intentional about making sure that whatever piece of content comes out, there's really a buzz that's been created and it's going to trend, and when it trends, the CPM is high, and you're literally in the money-making business.
Yeah, and people just see me throwing gang signs. They think I'm just there.
They think you're just being cool and you're being Malume Mike.
But I like it like that.
Yeah, but that's really awesome because I think we're seeing a rise of young people wanting to be on YouTube a bit more. And my heart really with these conversations, just trying to open up the conversation around this is actually a business. This is actually a career path you can take. And I know a lot of people do wonder, like, do creators make money? Do YouTubers make money? I think you did also mention some numbers of, you know, how much your first brand deal was. Take me through the evolution of realizing your earning potential through the years. What has that done for the business aspect of things on your side?
Yeah, so with me, my journey is it's quite different and tricky because I've always done research on how much you should charge. And for the first 2 years, let's say for the past, I'm gonna speak the past 2 years.
Okay.
The past 2 years or the past 3 years, I've always like charged at quite a high level. Like I was like, okay, cool.
Nice.
I think, okay, cool, these people are charging 10K, 15K. I think I'm worth 25.
Oh,
so
wow.
me saying I'm worth 25 or something would always reduce the amount of deals, but like increase the quality of my deals. So now I never really know if my advice is good because now you get to a point where you're expensive and a lot of people aren't working with you because they're like, yo, you're too expensive. So now you're relying on those 3, 4, 5 deals, which are high level deals to keep you going. So I think in terms of like I don't even think I'm answering your question. I think this was on my heart.
No, but I love that you're talking about that because it is an important question.
Yeah.
I know when I started coming into the industry, my biggest thing was how much do I charge?
Yeah.
And I did not know, and I didn't know who to speak to, and the people you talk to kind of give you a figure, but you don't know, am I worth that much?
Amount,
or do I need to charge more? So that is an important conversation because it is a business.
It is a business.
And it's a lot of work.
And also, I despise like rate cards. Like you see rate cards, people say like, okay, cool, an Instagram video costs 15K or 10K.
Yeah.
I don't think that's a true reflection of how much we should be charging because it's like, it depends on the job. It depends on what product you the person is selling. If I'm going to promote a laptop brand, if I get 10 sales, that's a laptop that costs 15K. How much am I bringing to the company?
Yeah.
So I can't be charging you guys 4,000 Rand, 5,000 Rand to promote something like that. So I always tell people to like look at who you're working with and just also look at all of the costs that you're doing to just survive. Like you have to pay rent to have a place, like your basic costs. Because a lot of YouTubers that I know are very young and it's like, for them it's like they beating their allowance. Basically. And your allowance is not how you survive life. Like, because your parents are paying for your accommodation, your parents are paying for your entertainment and other things. So always think, okay, cool, for me to survive at the level that I want to, how much do I need every month? And you see, okay, cool, starting off a young kid, you might need like a 20K or 15K a month to pay rent, food, electricity, all those things.
Yeah, just the basics.
Just the basics. Then from there is how much do I need for my company and my business. Then you must keep adding. And when you do that, you'll see how much you actually are worth. And it's
that's interesting. I like that because one of the things I always say is that if you start charging low, it's going to be hard to bump the cheese up because people are now used to you charging 2,000 Rand for a post, and then in 3 months' time, because you had a conversation with Tato, now you want to charge 15K. It's like, what do you mean?
It's
you know,
like,
you're being
last
dramatic.
month you did it for 2, let's take it to 3.
Exactly. So you always have to start in a position where you will actually be able to maintain the standard or even raise the bar high, which is awesome. I love that because, let me tell you, money conversations are very important. And I'm so glad that you're very open in terms of just being like open about the amount of money and how people are actually making it. Awesome. So one of the things that content creators actually go through is trying to figure out how do they create content, edit, post, create content. Time management is a big thing. How has that been for you, and what has been your secret to making sure that you do so much?
Yeah, I think definitely, and I mean, I don't stick to it all the time, but definitely routine is very important. Like one thing I try to do is that like I always say, I need to be up at a certain time. So for me, I'm up every day at like 5, 6, and then I must at least have eaten breakfast by 7. Then from there, 7 to 8 is my emails, and then from 7 to 8 is my emails, and then 8 to 9 I'm planning my week or the next day or that day. So I always just try to look into the future, like what do I have to do? And then I write it down, so okay, cool, I have to shoot this podcast, I have to shoot this skit, I have to meet up with Michelle, I have to do these things. And then from there, at the end of the day, I reflect to what I was meant to do, and then I see, oh, I actually did all these things. And there's so much power in reflecting, because if you don't reflect, you feel like you're not doing anything.
That's true.
And you can end up crashing, you can end up not really valuing your work, valuing yourself. So I always plan, I'll just write down what I have to do, reflect on it, and then from there, just say, okay, cool, I do what I had to do. I can rest, it's okay to rest. Yeah.
That is so awesome. I love that because that's what we would do anyway when we work for someone else.
Yes.
When we're in corporate, we wake up at a certain time and go to work at a certain time. And why not do that for your own business that you're building? I think that is so powerful, and there's a huge lesson in that. So part of the show is we have a segment called the Platform Plug. And what we basically ask you to do is plug 2 things. 1, a creator that we need to be looking out for that you think everybody needs to go ahead and follow. And then 2, a resource. That's always a tough one, eh? And then the second one is a resource that has been recently useful to you. It could be a podcast episode, a book, it could be an episode of something, a movie, whatever, that has really kind of given you some sort of inspiration or lesson recently.
Who's coming up then that needs to be... I just can't remember his name. What
does he do?
There's this YouTuber, he creates pretty much, I don't know if you know, there's a YouTuber called Mr. Beast in America. And his name is Dumisho. Dumisho. You know Dumisho, ne? Yeah, his name is Dumisho. Dumisho. And he basically edits and shoots at no other level. Like you see the YouTubers that we know in South Africa that vlog, no one creates content like that.
Is he South African?
South African, yeah. Only has like 5 videos out, but because I don't know why he doesn't post, but he's,
Does he do skits? What does he do?
He just vlogs. Like he did a video where he basically got a bunch of YouTubers to give him a day, and then he did them in 24 hours. So that video has him bungee jumping, being an ice, just a bunch of crazy things.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, so he's fun to watch, so definitely check him out.
Awesome.
He's up and coming.
Dumisho will definitely have a look at him.
And then one thing, like I started doing it recently, like 2 weeks ago. It helps me a lot, especially with like setting my day straight. I just go into YouTube and then I search like meditation sounds. And then like, should I say what I do? Like I'll chill in a bath with the meditation sounds.
Yes.
And then I kind of like just take deep breaths and think about what I want to do in my day, and think about what I want to do in my week, and how my next 3 months looks, and what I have to do to achieve those things and to achieve those things within those 3 months.
Yeah.
So yeah, take a bath and then go into YouTube and play meditation sounds.
That's really awesome, because I think it has a lot to do with you centering yourself before you face the world.
Yes.
And that is very important.
I should say it like that.
Yes. It goes back to what you were talking about, having a morning routine and being able to have those. Because I think as creators, we give so much of ourselves, and when you actually are depleted, you can't give a lot, and you won't be able to produce that content. So you need something that's going to help you center yourself back to yourself. So that's really, I quite like that. That's really awesome. But we'll definitely be on the lookout for Dumisho, and we'll definitely take baths and listen to meditation sounds so that we can center ourselves. But thank you so much. Thank you. Where can people find you on social media if they don't already have? But I believe that if you're watching this, you know Tato Rampi. That is so awesome, Tato, and this has been such a powerful conversation. I actually wanted it to be a lot longer. So hopefully we'll get to touch yes, absolutely, to chat soon. But thank you so much for just being so kind enough to answer the questions, and also to not shy away, because I know a lot of people don't like talking about money, so shy away from that conversation. So thank you so much. It's been super awesome having you. And for anybody that's watching, guys, watch out for Tato. Okay, I know for sure that there's going to be a lot of production things that are happening. 2023 is going to be a big year for you as well. So we're looking forward to watching that. So yeah, thank you so much for tuning in.
Thank you for having me.
Awesome. Thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. We'll see you guys in my next episode. Bye.